Welcome everyone to the completely free AZ-900 Azure Fundamental course. My name is Sullivan. I'm an AZ-900 certified. I hold multiple IT industry certifications, and I'm going to be your instructor for this completely free AZ-900 course. Today we're on day 9, and we're going to be learning about Azure for governance and compliance. Today is going to be a very short day, and after completing today's day, you're going to be able to describe features and tools in Azure for governance and compliance. You will be able to describe the purpose of Microsoft Purview in Azure. You're also going to be able to describe the purpose of Azure policies, and you will be able to describe the purpose of resource logs. Microsoft Purview. I got this image from Microsoft for you to be able to understand in a simple way what Microsoft Purview is. And what Microsoft Purview is a unified data security, governance, and compliance solutions for the era of AI. We're living on an era where AI is doing a lot of stuff, so this is designed for AI. And there's three main concepts that we have over here, which is data security, data governance, and also data compliance. And remember this for your AZ-900, data security is designed for dynamically secure data through its life cycle. Then we have data governance, which is responsible to unlock value creation from data. And then data compliance is manage critical risks and regulatory requirements. So remember, if you encounter questions related with Microsoft Purview, what I recommend you to learn is that it's a unified data security, governance, and compliance solutions for the era of AI. Remember AI, remember data security, and remember governance for your AZ-900. What Microsoft wants us to be able to do is to be able to describe what Azure Policy is. And what Azure Policy is a native cloud government service that enables organizations to create, assign, and manage rules to enforce corporate standards. It can restrict resources, configurations, and ensure compliance at a scale. So this is basically policies that we're going to set so it can comply with the standards, the configurations, and the compliance that we need for our organization. So remember, Azure Policies is a tool, a native cloud government service that enables you to organize, create, and assign rules. Remember this for your AZ-900. This is one of the other things that you should understand for your AZ-900, and these are called resource logs. And what Azure resource logs are a safety feature used to protect your cloud infrastructure from accidental changes or deletions. There are two main resource logs that the AZ-900 focus, and we're going to show on the next slide. There are two main resource log types that we must know for our AZ-900. And the first one is the cannot delete log. And this log is used to authorize users can read and modify a resource's settings or configurations. They cannot delete the resource. Remember this for your, they cannot delete. So they cannot delete, but it is used for ideal for active production databases. Main thing about the cannot delete is that users cannot delete the resource. And the read only log, this is the second log that you should know for your AZ-900. And this is only authorized users can only read the resource. They cannot delete as well, update, or alter any configuration settings. This is the highest level of restriction. So for example, the user can only see what they need to see, but they cannot modify or even delete the resource. So remember this for your certification. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this day is a pretty short day, and this is the recap of what we learned today. And we learned to describe features and tools in Azure for governance and compliance. We learned to describe the purpose of Microsoft Purview in Azure. Remember, this is a data tool used for governance and compliance, and specifically designed to help with AI. And we learned to describe the purpose of Azure Policy. This is where we set all our policies to like what and can and cannot be accessed from stuff. And we learned how to describe the resource logs, which are basically just logs designed for you to not delete data and protect them. Remember, there's two ones, they cannot delete and read only. Remember this for your certification. As you guys already know, this is the only course where you're going to do 5 to 10 practice questions at the end of every single day, so we can see if we actually remember the terms for our AZ-900 certification. So let's start with the question. So here we are, guys, with question number 1. And question number 1 says, an organization wants to ensure that all deployed resources comply with corporate standards. Which Azure service should they use to enforce these rules and evaluate compliance at a scale? Azure Advisor is an advisor that will help me like manage the cost of stuff like on my services. So this I can completely delete it. Azure Sentinel, this is something that goes beyond the AZ-900, so don't worry about this. Azure Policy, this is what's gonna help me comply with company standards. So comply with company standards. The correct answer is Azure Policy. And Azure Monitor, that's what's gonna help me monitor my resources. So correct answer is Azure Policy C. Azure Policy is designed specifically to enforce different rules and effects over your resources, ensuring they stay compliant with your corporate standards. What I recommend, remember guys, is pause the video, try to solve the questions yourself, and then if you don't know, just let it go and then I'll give you the explanation. But the recommendation is for you to pause the video. Question number two. What is the primary purpose of Microsoft Purview in Azure, in an Azure environment? So, okay, we have data governance and discovery. This is the correct answer. It is designed for data government and discovery, yes. This is definitely not designed for virtual machine orchestration. Neither it doesn't do network trafficking. And identity and managed access, this will be Microsoft Entra ID. So if you ever see like something regarding identity and management access, related it with Entra ID, but the correct answer is data governance and discovery. Microsoft Purview provides a unified data governance solution that helps and govern your on-premises, multi-cloud, and software as a service data. Next. A cloud administrator applies a cannot delete log to critical virtual machine. What is the effect of this log? Remember, there's two types of log, cannot delete and read only. So the main effect that this is gonna allow me to do is that I'm not gonna be able to delete it. So users can only view the resource and cannot make any changes. This makes sense, but let's keep reading. Users read and modify the resource, but cannot delete it. This makes even more sense. The resource will automatically shut down during non-business hours. This has nothing to do, a resource log will affect none of this. The resource is hidden from all users except global administrators. Correct answer, guys, here, B. And the reason why is because when I'm talking about cannot delete, I still can read and modify the resource, but the only thing I won't be able to do is delete it. So a cannot delete log allows authorized users to read and modify a resource, but it prevents the resource from being deleted until the log is removed. Remember this for your AZ-900, you might encounter questions regarding resource logs, so remember this for your test. Which governance tool allows you to apply metadata to Azure resource in the form of name value pairs to logical organize them for billing and management? This is one of the things that we already covered in the days before. So if you don't know what the answer is here, I recommend you going back to the other days. But remember, when I'm talking about metadata, I'm usually referring to some sort of resource tags. So I'm usually referring to tags. So, and they're designed for value pairs. So yeah, usually they're going to be in value pairs and they're going to be logical organized for billing and management. Correct answer, resource tags. Tags are name value pairs, apply resources or resource groups that allow you to categorize resources and view consolidated billing. So remember, keyword right here, apply metadata and also name value pairs to logical organize for billing and management. So remember this for your certification. And the last question we have, guys, question number 5. This is the last question. An administrator needs to prevent any changes from being made to a production database. Which tool and setting should they use? So if I do, let's start reading an Azure policy definition. This will block some stuff or like deny me from doing stuff. So definitely not. It cannot delete resource log. If I apply cannot delete, they will still be able to make changes. So they need to prevent any changes. So if I do a cannot delete, users can still make changes. So this is not correct. In network security group, this is more for like blocking my users to go offside my my network, so definitely not. And the correct answer is a read-only resource log. So remember what a read-only resource log does. This is the most restrictive log type. It prevents any modifications, updates, or deletions of the resource. So today we're only going to do 5 questions, guys. So for today, this is it for the questions. Congratulations, you made it to the end of today's days. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are close to the end of the channel, this course. Subscribe. You already know what to do, so do all the stuff that you do, and thank you for supporting me, and see you guys on the next day.